Councillor Noreen Stokes, members of Governing Authority, members of Academic Council, parents, partners and families, invited guests, graduates of the class of 2025, colleagues, a meeting of the University is hereby convened for the purpose of conferring academic awards. Exercising the power granted to the University of Limerick by Oireachtas this Éireann, I hereby confer degrees of the University on the graduates from the Faculty of Science and Engineering. Graduates not present are hereby conferred in absentia. Good afternoon, everyone. Councillor Noreen Stokes, graduates, families, friends, as well as our university colleagues. As I speak to you this afternoon, particularly to our graduates, I'm very mindful to be short, not to take too much of your time. I say this because when you remember this day next week, next year, and 10 years from now, you're not going to remember me or anything which I have said. And this is as it should be. You should only remember what you've achieved, your friends, the staff who helped you to achieve it, and who shared this special occasion with you today. But I've prepared these words out of courtesy to you and your loved ones to mark this special occasion in your lives, and also for all of our staff, and it's delivered on that basis. So to you, our students, today we stand together to celebrate what is a very significant milestone in your lives, the conferring of your degrees from the University of Limerick. And through your education here at the university, you've honed your skills and broadened your knowledge, and it's allowed you to question and explore what the world has to offer. You've also forged lifelong friendships, and you can now embark on a new journey that holds endless possibilities for each of you. You're graduating from a top 500 university, and there are thousands of higher education institutions in the world. And so you should take real pride in this figure and walk tall with your qualification. It's your passport, a really powerful esteem indicator, and it's a recognition, of what you've achieved. The institution itself is now ranked in the top 150 higher education institutions in Europe. It plays a crucial educational and civic function role in the community and the Midwest region. We're not just an educational institution, we're a vital part of the societal fabric, contributing to the economic, cultural and intellectual vibrancy of our region. We are the first university established in Ireland since the inception of the state. Our mandate and legitimacy comes from the people from the Midwest region. We are founded on the people who marched in the 1960s to overturn a previous historical neglect. It's a powerful coalescing force. That mandate, which they provided us with, is to develop talent, to help drive innovation and growth. You graduates are the lifeblood of this endeavour. We all pass through important staging posts in our lives, and this is undoubtedly one of them for you. You should take a little time today to reflect on this, how you've transitioned in and through the University of Limerick, what you've achieved, how you've personally developed, and crucially, who has supported you along the path. Graduates, you have earned this moment of celebration, as have your families and those who have supported you. You now join a community of over 140,000 alumni, outstanding people like our Chancellor, Professor Bridget Laffin, and many of our staff who are here on the podium with you today. They've all gone on to do wonderful things, adding real value wherever they've gone and whatever they have done. You will now do the same, taking up the baton and acting as our ambassadors. I would particularly like to acknowledge the families and those that have supported you on your journey here today. To the parents, the carers, and the supporters among you, you have worried about them, endlessly perhaps, and you will probably continue to do so. You've strived to create this opportunity for them, and it's involved self-sacrifice, commitment, and dedication. Many of you have wanted more for them than you've actually wanted for yourselves. It is their day, but it is very much your day too. Graduates, these are just words, and we can fall over them very quickly, but you should really think about this today. The people who are here supporting you, and even those that are not here, they are absolutely in your corner. They are committed to you and can back it up with the evidence of self-sacrifice and commitment that it entails. You will not encounter that type of commitment and sacrifice in most everyday experiences. We're all too busy with our own stuff. So you should really take time to reflect on this. that sense of service to you, that loyalty and commitment. And in your own time, you should acknowledge them for their dedication to you. A conferring ceremony offers you that opportunity. It's a threshold moment and window in your life where you can express your thankfulness for what they have done for you. And I would urge you, graduates, not to allow that to pass. The staff here at the University of Limerick also need to be acknowledged. You can see them behind me here, that wonderful, colourful crew of academics, our provost, our various vice presidents, and our wonderful executive dean as well, who has led his faculty so well. And so they are all outstanding colleagues, and they are also completely committed to you. I'm really proud to work for them and with them. They engage in such a noble pursuit, which is helping you to excel and engaging in knowledge exchange for the good of society and humanity. They are educators and scholars, all outstanding experts in their field, leaders, national and international commentators, and policy influencers. It goes without saying that we as an institution and you as students owe them a debt of gratitude. They have enriched your lives. But it's not just the academic staff, it's all of our staff, the ground staff, the porters, the security staff, the brilliant conferring team led by Ailish Nagel, the interpreter here beside me, the receptionists, the caterers, all of the fantastic staff in Plassey House. They want you and your loved ones to experience a great day today because you deserve it, because we are very proud of what we do, but also because we're really proud of this wonderful institution. Graduates, public service of this kind speaks to civic excellence. It's not the wealthiest, the best looking, the loudest, or the most numerous, according to Aristotle, who deserve our recognition and acknowledgement. It is public service of this kind, the civic virtue of helping others like you to excel, to realise their full talent, that is most deserving of our attention. I'll finish my speech with you very shortly, but I'm going to offer you as part of that 3 pieces of advice for all of you graduating today. And universities over the centuries, they permit people like me to give advice based on life's experiences. It's usually someone old like me, dressed up in regalia and finery, best years definitely behind him, arthritic knees, too much weight and grey hair, and who has made and continues to make all kinds of mistakes. And here I am now giving you passionate and enthusiastic guidance to a really energetic, talented group of young people like you who all have their best years ahead of them. So I will continue to honour that tradition now. And so as an institution, we should hope for the very best for you as you pass through this institution and become our alumni. The university is much more than merely about knowledge transfer to you. It is and ought to be a sanctuary for critical thought, personal development, societal transformation, and the pursuit of truth. You now have the proficiency and competency that your qualification speaks to and confirms, so that is not in doubt. You also have the talent and the potential that goes with your qualification. So these advices that I'm offering you are softer in orientation. They're in addition to the more obvious wishes of good health and that little bit of luck that everyone needs on life's journey. So the first piece of advice is about kindness. George Saunders is an American writer, and he's the winner of the Man Booker Prize for fiction for his novel Lincoln in the Bardo. Saunders delivered a very powerful speech in 2013 about failures of kindness, and he did it to the graduating class of Syracuse University. And he was asked, what was the biggest regret in his life? And he answered by stating the following: what I regret most in my life are failures of kindness. Those moments when another human being was there in front of me suffering and I responded sensibly, reservedly, mildly. Or to look at it from the other end of the telescope, who in your life do you remember most fondly, with the most undeniable feelings of warmth? Those who were kindest to you, I bet. It's a little facile, maybe, and certainly hard to implement, but I'd say, as a goal in life, you could do worse than try to be kinder. As you get older, and perhaps more reflective graduates, you come more fully to understand the truth of that statement, or at least I do. And my second piece of advice to you is that I really hope that you come to know your values, which is what you're about and what you stand for as you progress on life's journey. These are things which you believe are important in the way you think, live, and work. The more you as an individual know your own values, the better prepared you will be when life throws you curveballs, which it inevitably and invariably will do. You will also only know the extent to which you really hold those values when they're tested. Stoic philosophers have been telling us this for 2,000 years, and I really think they're correct. Life is more of a wrestle than a dance, and you're usually wrestling against yourself. In a brilliant article written over Christmas by the Irish Times columnist Lara Marlowe, she noted that today there are more wars in the world than any time since we started recording through the United Nations in 1946. You will have all seen the news stories every day in recent weeks and months. Atrocities and abuses, claims and counterclaims about the matters in hand and the truth about the cause and occurrence. This was brought into sharp focus for me on the killing of Renee Good in Minnesota a few weeks ago, the nature of her death, and the degradation ritual that ensued following the taking of her character and her reputation. I would have thought that we could all agree on the following. 1, life is really sacred, and we should do everything to preserve it. Secondly, if self-defense has been used to justify the taking of a life, it needs to be proportionate and objectively reasonable. And thirdly, any commentary about outcome should be avoided until investigations are complete and determinations are made. It has always been the case, graduates, that facts are elusive and rules are interpretive. But this is now reaching a scale not previously experienced. Because of this, it is becoming much harder for all of us to tell right from wrong, fact from fiction, and truth from fantasy, as commentary more and more seems to oscillate around partisan lines, rather than the pursuit of truth, justice, or optimal ethical outcome. I recently read a book by Michael Sandel, famous Harvard law professor. It's an exceptional read, and I brought it with me just to prove that now and again I still read. The title of the book is Justice, What is the Right Thing to Do? And more he suggests that we have to reason and reflect on the common good and our conception of the good life. It requires us to create a really strong sense of community and solidarity, a dedicated sense of service to others, and an emphasis on civic virtue and a politics of moral engagement. In order to do so, each of us have to have our own values to be the best versions of ourselves, but we have timeless wisdom that can help us with this. In Nicomachean Ethics, Aristotle actually identifies the values essential for a good life: courage, moderation, generosity, magnanimity, patience, truthfulness, humor, friendliness, modesty, and justice. These are habits that are meant to be practiced in action, learned by doing, and applied using what he calls a golden mean. And what he means by that is that we do it in right and proportionate balance. So we don't want to be too courageous as to be reckless, but equally, we don't want to be silent when we need to stand up so that evil does not prevail. Graduates, start to reflect on your values which are important to you. It's a really important framing exercise, and habituate them then through practice and action. The more you fully engage in the direction of human flourishing and contribute to the common good and virtuous citizenship, the better it's going to be for society. Finally, my last piece of advice, and Immanuel Kant has told us this in the 1700s. Each of you has a dignity as a human being and an intrinsic value. Back yourselves in the coming years to really stretch your talent. Your real personal and professional growth is often just a little bit beyond your comfort zone. And that's hard because we're all vulnerable, but try to have a growth mindset, to strive to be the best version of yourself, to dare greatly. As Theodore Roosevelt told us in his speech in the Sorbonne in 1910, entitled Citizenship in a Republic, it's not the critic who counts. The glory belongs to you, the persons who are actually in the arena, whose faces are marred by blood and sweat, who dare greatly and who strive valiantly, so that their place will never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. It is enough, graduates, to show up, to demonstrate your talent, to take risks, and to be seen. And as you make your journey from what do people think to I am enough. So in terms of advice from me, from an old nuisance like me, be kind, know your values, and dare greatly. All that is left for me to do now, graduates, is to congratulate you on your achievements and success to date. Thank you for attending this beautiful and great university. My hope for you now is that you create good lives for yourselves and for those around you. I wish you every success in your future endeavours. Thank you.
I'm pleased to call on Professor Kenneth Stanton, Executive Dean, Faculty of Science and Engineering, to present the candidates for the conferring of undergraduate and taught postgraduate awards.
Acting President, the Academic Council of the University has been satisfied that the following candidates are worthy to be conferred with undergraduate and taught postgraduate awards. Therefore, I present candidates and request you to confer the awards on them.
Associate Professor Philip Griffin, Assistant Dean of Academic Affairs, will present the candidates in each award category in alphabetical order of surname.
Certificate in Equine Science, Langham, Antonia. Bachelor of Engineering in Aeronautical Engineering, Gallagher, Seamus Mihal Pio. Quinlan, Grania. Bachelor of Engineering in Electronic and Computer Engineering, Cronin, Danny. Feenan, Andrew. Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, Carroll, Adam James. Sutton, Diarmuid Peter. Bachelor of Science in Equine Science, Moran, Kira. Bachelor of Science in Food Science and Health, Bentley, Cayley. Gagan, Ashling. Cutica, Alexandra. Mulhern, Saiv, Kathleen. Ryan, Clodagh. Ryan, Neve. Sanchez, Salnikava, Beatrice. Bachelor of Science in Mathematical Sciences, Connor, Joseph Jeremiah. Large, Ryan George. Seekfield, Kira. Bachelor of Science in Quality and Regulatory Affairs, Coonan, Tracy. Corcoran, Linda. Crow, Brian. Davis, Marie. Doherty, Katie Victoria. Gannon, Jimmy. Highland, Nuala. Koludska, Carolina. Long, Killian. O'Donnell, Audrey. O'Donnell, Niamh. Rice, Mihal. Weber, Eva. Professional Diploma in Equipment Systems Engineering, Roach, Darren. Professional Diploma in Quality Management, Lean Systems, Cleary, Katarzyna. Professional Diploma in Supply Chain Management, Fortunado, Jose Francisco. Master of Engineering in Computer Vision and Artificial Intelligence, Abdul Rahim Saeed. Abdulaziz Mohammed Harfan. Aji Paul. Bakam Chandana. Vatnagar Saranch. Vatnagar Vijay Raj. Bosco Yasbina Mary. Dias Neil Sean. Gundala Jai Krishna Reddy. Jugtop Pahel. Krishna Kumar Sri Lakshmi. Kumar Abhinav. Muralidharan Nair Akil. Ni Runway. Odi Marie. Pandai Abhishek. Radhakrishnan Nandana. Ramesh Ashri. Ramesh Harshita. Shanti Ajit Anthony. Shelkai Tanishk Rahul. Trisholia Rashi. Wargis Kevin Kalikunil. Vinegar Jessica. Master of Engineering in Cybersecurity, Adi Bhagavan Arthi. Amaraneni Sai Charan. Anuganti Sri Kumar Jayadita. Arshad Arsalan. Arumugam Srinivasan. Ayare Avishek Mineshwar. Baskaren Sudarshan. Bhattacharya Arindam. Binoy Jais. Chalamala Seti Sahita. Chaturvedi Harsh Vardhan. Danaboina Anudeep Naidu. Damaraj Francis. Edachalil Shanil Saurav. Guha Anamika. Hankare Rutika Uday. Ipe Joik. Kolantha Gounder Kanagarajan. Tharunish Arya. Magesh Vishnu Ram. Matthew Joseph. Mishra Sarthak AJ. Narakuyil Raghavan Ashwati. Okonkwo Imnamdi Philip. Pangaluri Alekya. Ponapa Ajikutira Sharma. Rangaprasad Jayashri. Sararambal Manikam Rajendran. Savin Peter Romy. Silam Ananth Kartik. Sheikh Mohammad Imiran Jahid Vai. Singh Niraj Kumar. Tuhumvir Clancy Draman. Ved Ansh. Victor Johnson, Josna Sweetie. Vijay Kumar Sharan. Yazici Erdem Fuat. Yenam Praharsha Sandeep Raj. Yerva Sushank. Master of Engineering in Edge Computing, Bodhigada Alvin Martin. Chaka Tendai. Konja Camille Jian. Diller Claudia. Gundrati Sudarshan Good. Mamen Abraham. Maram Rajanikar Reddy. Nueje Olisa Eloka Emen. Pradeep Dipent. Ramanan Sindhuja. Shaheen Wissam. Sibanda Mandisi Marshall. Master of Engineering in Information and Network Security, Masood Yusuf Bin. Master of Engineering in Mechatronics, Abruhena Mark Dominique. Agans Arsène Balibuno. Aurora Akshay. Babulina Linin Raj. Balasubramanian Shivesh Narain. Barrett Paul. Vagat Dave Umwang. Charupa Padikal Ahmed. Chu Roki. Emma Ebumoke David Ogechuku. Flynn James. Hackett Connor. Liu Xingwu. Liu Weixiong. Mahesh Rohan. O'Carroll Luke Connor. Osasubu Oju Esuza Gabriel. Semersi Ahmed Farouk. Master of Science in Advanced Engineering Materials, Lee Ikai. Murphy Breda Murray. Master of Science in Aeronautical Engineering, Janal Sindor Samira. Mohammed Saeed Masood Ali. Murphy Kyle Kirill. Pekias Antonios Marios. Master of Science in Applied Physics, Yonel Tetiana. Long Fei Shi. Maliakel Rima. Williams Megan. Master of Science in Artificial Intelligence, Al Mukhtar Basil. Burke Daniel. Clark Philip. Coleman Jason. De Bruyne Mitchell. Dennehy John. Harford Paul. Jeremiah Godfrey Bayegbon. Jones Christian. Collias Nicolaus. Kroll Václav. Lee Jae-jun. Marat Hagata Rajesh Reddy. Winarkiewicz Bartłomiej Jagosh. Noonan Sean. Nunes Rodriguez Hugo. O'Donoghue Lorcan. O'Dowd Pat. O'Mahony Peter Xavier. O'Sullivan Shane. Perumal Mahadevan Harinath. Rubus Julieta. Upadhyay Jitendra. Gia Victoria. Master of Science in Biomedical Device Materials, Hartnett Jade Michelle. Hitanshu. Ngoy Jesse. Wargis Celine Brighty. Yuvraj Vignesh. Master of Science in Biomolecular Sciences, Aguirre Stacy. Brereton Laura. Chan Austin. Cullity Scott. Delory Michael. Heaps Ben. Hennessy John. Judge Rachel. Kowalchuk, Carolina. Krupa, Elzbieta Barbara. Masterson, Mark. McGrath, Jack. Nasrallah, Gufran. O'Halloran, Amy Jane. O'Neill, Laura. Toohey, Georgina. Turner O'Dwyer, Fionn Albert. Twardock, Justina. Williams, Ivana. Master of Science in Civil Engineering, Ati Parambath, Navaneeth. Johnson, Justin. Khadija, Zia. Kashi Reddy, Rahul Reddy. Karamule Fayaz. Mohammed Riswan. Mubarak Afrin. Paruchuri Murali Sri Krishna Sai. Sharma Prachush. Wargis Agnes. Master of Science in Data Science and Statistical Learning, Ashuta Teja. Agarwal Aditi. Anil Anandu. Bilada Pratik Satish. Bombala Shilpa. Boyce Tiernan. Thinesh Kumar D. Gaud Pooja. Jose Rohan. Kamble Anishanil. Mahanawar Prajwal Shivaji. Maria Faustina Pratiksha. Murray Kean. Nadaf Maud Kaif Shakil. Nambari Yuva Narashima Rao. Neelakan Tanahali Chandrasekhara. O'Sullivan Rory Brendan. Rajesh Anand Takrishnan. Singal Ravelu Tharun Raj. Suresh Raj Rohit. Thayampara Sasikumar, Adwait. Master of Science in Functional Foods and Product Development, Alolian Nora. Babu Jose Liz. Berkmans Senorita. Chowdhury Krupa Ben Devjibai. Dilip Devika. De Silva Anthony Febby. Eldo Elben Basil. Jayan Umadevi. Keeley Henry Thomas. Lynch Kira Therese. Madati Kudiyil Haridas Anisha. Mani Aruna. Nakashima Amanda Harumi. Nguyen Tui Quinn. Philip Austin Wargis. Wong Yue. Master of Science in Mathematical Modelling, O'Brien Nathan. Sorahan Mark. Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Brunel Jade Marie. Navas Vishwan. Singh Shivansh. Master of Science in Strategic Quality Management, Lean Sigma Systems, Burke Nolin. Brady Stephen. Cahill Rosemary. Daly Michael. Davern Donal. Delaney Paul. Garcia Roa Marcos. Heffernan Barry. Hegarty James. Lalwani Emma. Majid Nassim Muhammad Farhan. McCafferty Christopher. McCartney Murray. McPhillips Christopher. Milan Darren. O'Callaghan Shane. Quinn Connor. Wilkinson Craig.
Professor Anne MacPhail, Associate Vice President of the Doctoral College, will present the candidates for the award of Research Masters and Doctoral degrees.
Acting President, the Academic Council of the University has been satisfied that the following candidates are worthy to be awarded Research Masters and Doctoral degrees. Therefore, I present the candidates and request you to confer the awards on them.
The Research Masters candidates have successfully undertaken a programme of study and research involving the submission of a thesis and its examination by internal and external examiners. The candidates will now be presented with their parchment by the Acting President. Master of Science, Conor Cullen. Adnan Malik. Stephen McCormick. The following doctoral candidate has successfully undertaken a programme of study. The candidate will now be presented with their cap by their supervisor. The candidate will then be presented with their parchment by the Acting President. Professional Doctorate in Engineering. Michael Jason Grant. Michael has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Associate Professor Sean Moore and Dr. Amrit Kumar. The title of Michael's thesis is Effects of Ultra-Cold Temperature on Pharmaceutical Secondary Packaging Integrity and Legibility. Michael will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Associate Professor Sean Moore. The following doctoral candidates have successfully undertaken a programme of study and research involving the submission of a thesis and its examination by internal and external examiners. The candidates will be presented with their caps by their internal supervisor. The candidates will then be presented with their parchment by the acting president. Prosper Azaglo. Prosper has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Professor John Nelson and Professor Pepijn van de Ven. The title of Prosper's thesis is Machine Learning Models for Unobtrusive Monitoring of Perceived Control and the Prediction of Stress. Prosper will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Professor John Nelson. Caroline Brasileiro Peña. Caroline has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Associate Professor David O'Sullivan and Associate Professor Pádraig McCarran. The title of Caroline's thesis is Information Diffusion on Polarized Networks, Empirical Analysis and Mathematical Modelling. Caroline will now be presented with her cap by her joint supervisor, Associate Professor David O'Sullivan. Zexuan Chen. Chen has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Associate Professor Philip Griffin and Dr. Daniela Butan. The title of Chen's thesis is Computational Modelling of Vibrating Mesh Nebulizer Devices. Chen will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Associate Professor Philip Griffin. Natalia de Silva de Sa. Natalie has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Professor Martin Hayes, Assistant Professor Arash Jurabachi, and Dr. Andy Stewart. The title of Natalie's thesis is Automated Nanoparticle Segmentation in Transmission Electron Microscopy Images, a Synthetic Data Approach. Natalie will now be presented with her cap by her joint supervisor, Professor Martin Hayes. Niall Donlan. Niall has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Associate Professor Romina Gaburo and Associate Professor Clifford Nolan. The title of Niall's thesis is On Uniqueness, Stability and Reconstruction in Anisotropic Inverse Problems. Niall will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Associate Professor Romina Gaburo. Michael Anthony Galvin. Michael has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of the late Professor Mark Davies and Dr. Finola Cliff. The title of Michael's thesis is a high-throughput microfluidic technology for combinatorial drug screening. Michael will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Dr. Finola Cliff. Aisling Joanne Graney. Aisling has successfully submitted a thesis under the supervision of Associate Professor John Mulvihill. The title of Aisling's thesis is Mechanobiological Characterization of Leptomeningeal Cells and Astrocytes in Response to Substrate Stiffness and Mechanical Injury. Aisling will now be presented with her cap by her supervisor, Associate Professor John Mulvihill. Danielle Grehan. Danielle has successfully submitted a thesis under the supervision of Dr. Tara Dalton. The title of Danielle's thesis is a microfluidic instrument to measure frequency and antigen-specific T-cell activation. Danielle will now be presented with her cap by her supervisor, Dr. Tara Dalton. Owen Gannan. Owen has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Associate Professor Vanessa Egan and Professor Jeff Punch. The title of Owen's thesis is Thermofluidic Analysis and Design of Passive Two-Phase Heat Transfer Devices for Electronics Cooling Applications. Owen will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Associate Professor Vanessa Egan. David James McMahon. David has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Associate Professor Clifford Nolan and Associate Professor Romina Gaburo. The title of David's thesis is Mitigation of Artifacts in Radar Imaging using Micro-Local Analysis with Applications to Passive Imaging and Environmental Scattering. David will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Associate Professor Clifford Nolan. Dishant Rajendra Miwada. Dishant has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Dr. Tony Scanlon, Dr. Owen Grua, and Professor Kieran Ising. The title of Dishant's thesis is Computer Vision for Sustainable Waste Management, from Contamination Detection to Zero-Shot Classification. Dishant will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Dr. Tony Scanlon. Shraddha Naidu. Shraddha has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Associate Professor Rumina Gaburo, Professor Patrick Healy, and Associate Professor Clifford Nolan. The title of Shraddha's thesis is A Machine Learning Framework in Static and Dynamic Inverse Problems. Shraddha will now be presented with her cap by her joint supervisor, Associate Professor Rumina Gaburo. Kavya Rekanar. Kavya has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Professor Martin Hayes and Professor Kieran Ising. The title of Kavya's thesis is Human-Centered Attention for VQA in Autonomous Driving, from Machine Perception to Human-Aligned Understanding. Kavya will now be presented with her cap by her joint supervisor, Professor Kieran Ising. Alan Scarry. Alan has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Associate Professor Eilish M. O'Connor and Professor Audrey Tierney. The title of Alan's thesis is Exploring Sustainable Dietary Attitudes and Perceptions and the Impact of Novel Technologies. Alan will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Associate Professor Eilish M. O'Connor. Sushil Kumar Sharma. Sushil has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Professor Kieran Ising and Associate Professor Mark Halton. The title of Sushil's thesis is Bird's Eye View-Based Multi-Agent Trajectory Prediction for Autonomous Driving with Segmentation and Sensor Fusion. Sushil will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Professor Kieran Ising. Aryan Singh. Aryan has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Professor Pepijn van de Ven, Professor Kieran Ising, and Associate Professor Patrick Denny. The title of Aryan's thesis is Advancing Graph Neural Networks, Addressing Representation Challenges in the Vision Domain. Ariane will now be presented with their cap by their joint supervisor, Professor Pepijn van de Ven. Emma Tobin. Emma has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Professor Paul Weaver and Professor Ronan O'Higgins. The title of Emma's thesis is Process Parameters and Tool Effects on Interlaminar Bonding during Laser-Assisted Automated Tape Placement. Emma will now be presented with her cap by her joint supervisor, Professor Paul Weaver. Mark Magner Vaughan. Mark has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Professor Maurice Collins, Assistant Professor Anne Beauchamp McLaughlin. The title of Mark's thesis is Exploring the Manufacturing Potential of Bio-Based Materials Containing Lignin. Mark will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Professor Maurice Collins. Katrina Marie Winters. Katrina has successfully submitted a thesis under the supervision of Professor Maurice Collins. The title of Katrina's thesis is Design of a Highly Tailorable Hydrogel for Potential Biomedical Applications. Katrina will now be presented with her cap by her supervisor, Professor Maurice Collins. Peter Gerard Wolfe. Peter has successfully submitted a thesis under the joint supervision of Dr. Sinead O'Keefe and Professor Elfrid Lewis. The title of Peter's thesis is Optical Fiber Sensor for Real-Time Vivo Dosimetry in Low Dose Rate Brachytherapy for Prostate Cancer. Peter will now be presented with his cap by his joint supervisor, Dr. Sinead O'Keefe. I'm now pleased to call on Professor Kenneth Stanton, Executive Dean, Faculty of Science Engineering, to address the graduating class of 2025.
Acting President, Councillor, members of Governing Authority, members of Academic Council, colleagues, proud parents, friends, family members, and most importantly, our wonderful graduates of the University of Limerick class of 2026. Today is a day of immense pride and joy as we gather to celebrate your years of hard work, your perseverance and dedication to your academic disciplines. I am personally truly honoured to extend my heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you on your well-deserved graduation. Just over 30 years ago, I have to keep putting that number up by one every year when I do this. It's beginning to weigh on me. In 1995, I had the privilege of accepting my bachelor's degree in this very same hall. And I can vividly remember the sense of nervous energy, the group camaraderie with my classmates, but most especially that sense of personal pride that I had finally done it. And I'm sure that you all feel the same or something very much like it, because today you have finally done it. You've sat all the exams, done all the lab sessions, completed all the group assignments, submitted your essays, given the presentations, and now you have your degree award. This graduating class reflects a rich diversity of journeys from those who came straight from school in Ireland or elsewhere, those returning to education, those upskilling in their fields, and those reaching the academic summit by accepting a PhD. That parchment you've just received is a testament to your resilience, adaptability, and commitment to growth. Of course, very few of us achieve anything without support, and we must not forget those who helped us along the road to discovery and achievement, our family, our friends, and those who love us. And I would like to now invite our graduating class to join me in a round of applause for the supporters who are here today. Of course, I would also like to give my recognition and thanks to the dedicated academic, technical, and administrative staff at the university who give so much of themselves to bring us to days like these. I would also like to thank our academic staff for their tireless efforts in breaking new ground in engineering, scientific, and technological research. UL is now ranked in the top 3% of universities worldwide. From this remarkable foundation, your possibilities are limitless. The road ahead may not always be smooth, but your UL degree, combined with your proven resilience and sense of purpose, will open doors for you and create incredible opportunities. The skills you have gained, the lessons you've learned, and the friendships you formed will be the bedrock of your future. As you move forward, I encourage you to pause from time to time and ask yourself, is this what I'm here for? Is this what I was meant to do? Is this my purpose? Find your groove. Don't get stuck in a rut. More often than not, we have far more potential than we give ourselves credit for. A lot has changed since you started your educational journey with us. The world you're graduating into is one of rapid transformation that, for example, is marked by global conflict, the escalating climate crisis, and the mass adoption of generative AI, for example. I mean, you could reasonably ask whether I've used ChatGPT to write this speech. I haven't. But the fact that you either have to accept that as an article of faith or just plain not believe me will tell you what we're up against when we correct exams here. So these shifts in uncertainty, these shifts bring uncertainty, but also opportunity. As Nobel Prize winning chemist Ilya Prigogine once said, the future is uncertain, but this uncertainty is at the heart of human creativity. Let that uncertainty be a catalyst for your creativity and imagination. Use your education not only to build your own future, but to bring about positive change in your families, your communities, and beyond. Before we close, I want to take a moment to pay tribute to a remarkable colleague that we lost just this past November. That's Professor Mark Davies. Mark joined UL in 1989, and his research spanned areas from gas turbines and electronics cooling to advanced instrumentation and microfluidics. He served as the head of School of Engineering, and he founded the Stokes Institute, creating a center of excellence in fluid dynamics research. His pioneering work in droplet-based microfluidics led to two successful spin-out companies, Stokes Bio and Hook Bio, showing how fundamental research can transform industry. Mark supervised more than 30 PhDs, mentored countless researchers, and inspired generations of students. His legacy of excellence and innovation lives on in this room and across our campus, and we honor his memory today. So, as I've said, it's 30 years, more than 30 years, since I graduated with my first degree here, and hopefully I've learned a couple of things along the way. And one of them is that it's a terrible idea to be the only person standing between 1,000 people and their onward celebrations. So before I outstay my welcome, or before my brightly coloured colleagues start handing out more group assignments, I'll conclude by saying that on this great day, the University of Limerick is proud of you, and we wish you all the very best for the other great days yet to come. Go raibh míle maith agaibh go léir. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. You'll be pleased to hear that the ceremony is now actually concluded, but I ask you to stay in your seats until the platform party leaves the auditorium. Then ushers will direct the graduates and groups to the exits, and after that, your guests will be ushered out after the graduates leave the auditorium. So thank you all very much.